Hey subscribers, hey visitors, we got a frame here. This is the TransTEC Frog 218. It was requested, so this is the Frog Lite version. This will kind of give you an idea of the overall build quality of it and everything. TransTEC. It's weird that they don't have it listed on there as TransTEC anywhere. Cool. Comes with instructions. Except for it doesn't show those little carbon fiber strips in there anywhere. Where are they at? You can choose either that one or this one, I'm guessing. Whatever one you want to have go across the back side for whatever application you want. I also like it because, wow, those are seriously light. Wow. There's the hole for your HS1177, and then it's got the back hole for the Swift too. It's got like a cool shot blast finish. So let's see what the whole thing looks like here. You get a dirty plate, battery guard, whatever you want to call it. Aren't rounded over, so you'll have to round the edges over. It's pretty good machining though, nice sharp tooling. There's a little bit of, but that'll come off when you round that edge over. Holes all look pretty good in it and everything. Yeah, I think it's fairly decent. So, and the bottom plate is which one of the two? The bottom plate is this one. And the center four for the flight controller is what gets the long ones. And then you're putting the standard nuts on those. That is so weird that the front arms and the back arms have different holes in them. I thought I was going nuts for a second there. Top plate has the single big hole in the front. That is really weird. The spacing in the arms back here is different than the spacing and those holes up here. That's kind of different. So the smaller bolt pattern, the one that's tighter, goes in the back, and then the bolt pattern that's spread out a little bit goes up front. It works. Now I'm sure it's just the other bolts and then the nuts on top of them. Yeah, nuts out the bottom of the arm. Just like that. On these ones, then obviously the other ones are going to be screwed straight on there. Opinions so far? It's pretty cool. There's a lot of extra carbon fiber here. It'll add some more weight to it, but this full top plate, full bottom plate's definitely going to give it a lot more rigidity. So that's kind of a good thing. I think I'm going to order another X210. I'm going to get the 3mm one because I'm going to try to do a really, really light build, and then I'll take and probably even shave the arms thinner on it just for a really light race quad. I have those rubber anti-vibration mounts too, so that's pretty sweet. So I'll be using those on the next build here. The threads go up in there a little ways. I would use a little bit longer screw than that. That's just kind of a little bit scary. I don't like how short those seem to be. I don't know if that'll go in there. If those go in there all the way, that'd be really nice. We'll have to see. Those might be too long. Front it would be okay because they would just stick through. Cutaway goes to the outside like that. Kind of try to fit it all first before you tighten everything down. Otherwise you'll have issues like I just did with those not really fitting in there the best and having to screw them down because there'll be some tension in there. Is that gonna go? Oh, it's not gonna go. Dang it, it's just a little bit shy. Okay. So those are just a little bit too long for the back. I'm sure they'll fit in the front. Fronts are the most important to get nice long ones in there anyways, because yeah, you can see those are plenty long enough for the front ones there. So I'd definitely use the longer ones in the front, and then you can use the shorter ones in the back right there, because they give you plenty of the long ones, and it only shows the long ones going up through the bottom of the plate. It's the only place that shows that you're using the long ones. So yeah, I'd definitely suggest using those in the front there. So that one and this one. And you're going to want to put your camera in like right now before you get this screwed down, because otherwise you're not going to get it in there. It's the only thing I don't like about this design is to get your camera out, you basically got to take one of these sides off. That's one of the only downsides of this frame that I see so far. I mean, I guess you could probably... You might be able to get away with just taking the two back screws out and then spreading it apart to get the camera in there. Yeah, you should be able to do that. And then just close it back up. Not very much of those screws go in there. I'll probably buy a little bit longer one somewhere between the two. Yeah, I'll probably buy ones between the two. But that would probably be more than adequate. I mean, the front is going to take all the brunt of all the impact you're going to have anyways. So as long as you have nice long ones, I'll probably just leave it. Unless I have some here, I won't make a special trip to get them. Because it should be more than fine. Because it's going to have... It'll have these, plus it'll have that back. I want to leave those a little bit loose. And then it'll have this back strap there as well. So I'm just leaving all that loose until I get the top on there. Still not totally sure what this is about. Must be thinking you're just going to run this for a top plate. Yeah, I don't know if I would do that. That's pretty sketch. You're not going to be saving all that much weight because this is only 1.5 millimeters, so you're not going to be saving much of any weight, especially when that's all I don't know. I wouldn't do it. Little baby screws on the top side. Those are 1.5s. That's kind of strange. Why they'd put smaller screws on the top, but I guess you have 6 of them. Yeah, they give you these little baby screws for the top, and then for that back strap support piece too. These must be M2 screws. And then I guess you just decide which one of these two you're going to want to use for the back side, depending on what you're doing. If you need room for your VTX to go through, or if you need... Definitely wouldn't use that way, because I have my XT60 come with the back. So most likely is going to be the straight bar one that I'll use, because I can fit the antenna through here and I can fit the XT60 through there. So that's most likely the one that I'll use. Let's see if the screws that they supply are even long enough. Oh yeah, plenty long enough. That's because they give you 2 longer ones, that's why. So there is 2 longer screws in that bunch of screws. And we'll get a weight on it here. Definitely nice and rigid. There's several different ways you can run your battery strap on here. You could run it through just this one and around, or you can run it through both and go underneath the flight controller and come back down, or you can just put it right straight through. They make these holes a little bit small for this strap. Yeah, that's not very cool. If you're gonna do that, you should supply a smaller strap. If you're gonna have your holes be too small for battery straps. I hate that when manufacturers do that. They've been making battery straps the same size for like forever. It's kind of a little bit frustrating. It is nice that they don't have anything on the inside for bolts, so you can just take I just use a piece of Velcro and I come around right here, and then it'll keep your battery away from all these screws. So that works out really well. So probably just put the battery strap like that. I'll take and soften the edges on these holes so it's not killing your battery strap. I think it's a fairly rigid, sturdy frame. This is a really nice strap. This is a stitched one. So any of the stitched ones that you see are good quality straps. Camera fits in there pretty decent. If you line up the holes, it's gonna be protected fairly well. So yeah, it's pretty good camera protection, I would say. It's gonna go right about there. So just about the whole lens is gonna be tucked behind inside of here. So it'll definitely protect your camera. So then you won't have this happening. This is what happened on that Mark 1. I hit the lens and it busted the little knobs right off for the Fox here. Now I gotta wait for another case to come before I can put my Mark 1 back together. I used all my other cases to modify out like this to put those eSheen cameras in, so I don't have any cases left. But my opinion, it's a pretty rigid, nice frame. You'll be able to get your stack in there fairly well. This isn't in the way. That's not going to be in the way of your stack at all, and your camera should be more than far enough away to be able to allow you to have enough room to get your wires in there and everything. Experience wise, building wise, I would say probably kind of tight. I would say about a medium, because what do you got? You're gonna have less room. I'll just grab my mic really quick and get some measurements, and I'll get a weight. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna throw the spare parts in this bag. Okay, so battery strap installed, screws for the standoffs installed, everything on there, ready to go. It's gonna be heavier than what they were saying. It's gonna be 115. I believe that's about the same weight as, 115. I think that's right around the same weight as the Genius. Compared to the Genius frame, I like that the holes in the arms are really super tight. You got no movement at all. Even when those are loose, the arms don't move at all. So between this and the Genius, definitely the arms on this are a lot better thought out, a lot better laid out. 115 grams is what it weighs. And we have, that's going to be pretty. On the back, it's going to be the carbon fiber to the frame. Yeah, I'd say 21, because that's right about, if you go over the top of the standoff to the frame, 21.38, so 21's gonna where you're gonna be, and then in the front, 25.5. So that'll give you, if you stack it this way, more than adequate clearance. If you just put your PDB down and then you put those anti-vibration standoffs on top of that, and then you put your FC on that, that'll give you plenty of room. Then you just gotta try to stuff everything else in there somewhere. It's definitely going to be tight. Actually, the arms look like they might be almost the same width. The arms are 15 and 15. So the arms are the same. Boy, it's close, but you're gonna have, this is gonna be a lot more of a beginner build here, because you can see there's tons of room. I used way too big of standoffs in it. There's big gaps everywhere, and it's not really super tight. The only thing I don't like about this frame is how far the camera sticks out. It's pretty vulnerable. I would say between the Genius and the Frog, I would say intermediate build. Someone that's been flying for a while and wants a pretty rigid frame that with good camera protection. And this would be more of a noob type build. The Genius gives you lots of room to play with in there. And the X210 actually doesn't give you nowhere near as much. You can see the standoffs. These are like 30s and these are 35s. So if it's your first build, I would probably go with the Genius 215. It just gives you more room in there, and you don't have to really fight for the wires and stuff. Definitely order, see this back, that's a mod plate right there. If you're going to build the Genius frame, definitely order this plate. This is an X210, and this will give you the extra kick out the back, so you can put your antenna on it, and it'll help to not break your VTX. I just stole this one off of this because I didn't have one when I was building it, and now I'm killing my antennas because I don't have that out there. So definitely got to order one for this one, then I'll put this one back on there. But for the frog frame, it's definitely worth the money, easily. I'm going to build it. I don't know what I'm going to put on it for motors yet. I'll probably put King Kongs on it. I don't know which King Kongs yet. I like it. I didn't like the way it looked when I was looking at it online, just because it looked kind of goofy and kind of bulky. But it's not really bulky. It's pretty narrow. It's not any wider than any of the other frames. Actually, it's probably narrower than the Genius. That's 42, and we're at 39 wide on the top plate there. And we got 218, and then it does look symmetrical. 155 symmetrical X. So I say definitely go for it. It's a really nice frame in my opinion. So I'll probably do a build video on it. I really like it. I have another Mark 1 to build, and then this to build as well, and another Genius to build. I don't know which one I'll do first. Probably this frog. I'll build this one first probably, because I don't have one of these yet. So there is the Frog 218. Any questions, comments, put them down below. The links will be in the description. So have a great day. Like, subscribe, and I'd like to see you around.